Hey everybody, Jim back for another video and something that I'd done before and I want to get back to doing. So this will be the dip the toe back in to the comic book preview show where I talk about the books that I'm excited for or bigger books that maybe I'm not excited for that are coming out this week in comics. And I'm hoping to keep doing this each and every week. Normally it would probably come out Monday night. And also with that, the companion piece of it, the best of the week, we're going to bring that back as well. That usually will be coming out Sunday night. Kind of missed it this week. And because I'm doing this has all been like, hey, why don't I do this? Hey, let's get back to that. I did get a message or a comment on the video that I did this afternoon as I'm recording by Lupo, who actually said, oh, yeah, just wants me to do a bunch of videos. So this is for you, Lupo. Also, Lupo gets bonus points for knowing that the sus songs definitely do pay the bills. But how this works, I'll give you the title. The creative team will read the solicit and maybe even put the price of the books as well. So you'll know, just again, it's the stuff that I'm either looking forward to or are forced to review or are big books. Now, that doesn't mean that everything I say is the greatest, or if I miss something, that it's garbage. What it means is I sometimes miss things, or I'm not reading a particular book, and I would love for you all to comment about what books you're looking forward to, or some books that you think should get a bit of a spotlight, because I do use this and the best of show, actually, to kind of round out my my pull list, to round out things that I'm not aware of or didn't know were good. Maybe some things that started out kind of shady and then got better, and let me know. But yeah, let me know what you guys are looking forward to or things that you think deserve to get a bit of a spotlight. This first episode back, usually what I'll have is the covers for each of the books I'm talking about, but I'm doing this late. So I'm going to just end up having, a static screen. Forgive me, but I hope that my words weave a tapestry and end up making you see the comics come to life in your mind as I read the solicits. They probably won't, but we'll also have fun with it, chuckle at some of the things, maybe get mad. It's very, very possible. But we do end up starting with DC. DC doesn't have a lot of books out this week, and there's some okay ones. But we'll start with one that I'm not necessarily loving, but it looks like there could be help on the horizon in a weird way. It is my favorite character. It's Nightwing number 134. It's written by Dan Waters, art by V. Ken Marion, friend of the show, actually put me in a couple issues of DC Comics, so I'll always be grateful to him. Somebody else who did that was Juan Ferreira, both at Marvel and DC. I was the crossover hit of the year that year. But this is coming out, obviously, this week. It's $4.99. Now, Dan Waters' run has been all over the place. And I did end up at points maybe arguing with people about it. But to me, it lacked any focus. He had said it's going to be street level. It was far from that. I mean, I can go through some of the things that we had in the book, and I'll still end up forgetting a lot of it, because we started out with what is Zani, the Cirque du Sin, Olivia Pierce, who also ends up being Columbina. She ends up showing up in town as there's gang war between Teddy's, Flyboy's clean cut crew, right? Olivia Pierce shows up to just throw a bunch of RoboCop like robots and tech at the Bloodhaven Police Department. They end up killing a kid. Then you end up having Dick Grayson giving blood transfusions to Flyboy monstrosities. You end up having a Captain Hollow who ends up showing up as a ghost who wants to punish good cops. Then you end up having such things as Nightwing Prime, who came about when you had Night Might get all wacky, ends up haunting the Titan's tower, and they solve the whole problem by giving him soup, but then he becomes soup. Whew. And then Olivia Pierce ends up being a zombie whose head gets knocked off in clear view of the Bloodhaven police and being filmed by the news crews, and yet nobody looks into that. And now we're back to Zani, Cirque du Sin, and children hearing the circus music. I don't know about you, but if I'm a kid nowadays, I'm assuming that we can say the book is taking place nowadays, and I hear circus music and see a circus tent, first off, I don't even know if a kid would even know what that is. I wouldn't go to it. Ding, ding, ding. That's my very, that's my idea of circus music. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I'm not getting anywhere near that. Also, I've said this before. I think that we have to, first off, you got to get away from the circus with Dick Grayson. I know it's his origin. I know the Flying Graysons, but legit, if we're going to say nowadays, and the big thing is that well-known trapeze artist family, really? Like nowadays, yeah. Anybody mention today's big, trapeze artist family, and if you don't think it's the Flying Wallendas that are probably 100 years old, got to get past that. Here we go. And I said we'll have some laughs along the way. I hope. Nightwing caught in a deadly game. Oh my God, are they hunting the most deadly game, man? In the heart of the Cirque du Sin, a carnival game is played for the souls of Bloodhaven's children. But whether Nightwing wins or loses, the outcome of this game will have repercussions for this city forever. I doubt it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I doubt it. So we'll see. Dan Waters is going to continue on the book once March and KO ends. And he did announce that the book would be more street level. He said that at the beginning of this run. But he says the next part of it will be more street level. And by street, I think he just means that there's a haunted highway, because the solicit for March says there's a haunted highway. It ain't street level, Dan. Not a big fan of Dan Waters. I know he has a lot of fans. Just don't really like his writing. And what is happening in the book with the Supernet, that is his kind of thing. So I don't trust him that it's going to be street level. But Nightwing's coming out. I'll be reviewing that with my man Brad on our weekly DC Comics podcast. We'll go to the next book. And the next book is going to be a weird one, because I'm looking forward to it for one reason, but I'm not looking forward to it for another. And the book is Wonder Woman. It's Wonder Woman number 29. Now, the reason why I'm not looking forward to it is that Stephanie Williams is writing it. Not a big fan. Didn't like her stuff with Nubia, the whole Amazon war and that nonsense, right? But I am looking for it because it's not Tom King. Thank God. Tom King should not be writing Wonder Woman, in my opinion. I don't think he gets her voice at all. The catchphrase, "no thank you," is complete bullshit. And he writes her as kind of sadistic and sometimes feeling evil, and also a woman who makes the worst decisions ever. And the biggest worst decision ever is to take her baby Trinity to what amounts to a war zone while she's breaking international law by invading a sovereign country. That's not a great place for a baby. I mean, I do have 5 kids, but I don't think I need 5 kids to know that. Now, it's funny because while that was all going on, I review this book with my man Jared. And when we're talking about it, I said to him, wait a minute, why did she bring the baby to a war zone? Why didn't she just drop it off at Themyscira and have all the Amazons watch her? That'd be cool to see her interact. Well, that's what this issue seems to be about. So they finally got to it. It just took Stephanie Williams. But you have Stephanie Williams on a writing duty and Jeffrey Spokes on art. Here's the solicit. It is $4.99. The Amazons meet the daughter of Wonder Woman. After barely surviving the trials of Mouseman, Wonder Woman takes a much-deserved night off thanks to her sisters. But are the Amazons ready for their greatest challenge yet? Because in the DC universe, babysitting always leads to adventure. I think they're wink-winking at the Adventures of Babysitting movie. I don't know. I'd like to think so because I do like it. But again, she comes back from a war zone invading an island where Trinity got captured. She ended up getting kidnapped or baby napped. So, yeah, kind of a bad decision there. When it's funny that Stephanie Williams comes in to try to, make it a live up. But, yeah, no, damage done. Wonder Woman's the worst mother ever, besides my mom. My mom was terrible. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to, again, reading that, see if it is any better. But I don't have a lot of hopes because I don't think Stephanie Williams is that great a writer. We'll go to the next and final book here at DC. It is a KO tie-in that I think people will be excited about. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. And normally, here's the weird thing. Normally, I like fun. Like the girls, Jimmy likes to have fun. But on the opposite side, I'm not really into KO because I think it hasn't been that fun. It's been a bit convoluted. The main book just hasn't impressed me. But then we go back to this book, which is DC KO Green Lantern Galactic Slam #1. And then I'm like, well, this is what I've been asking for, but I'm kind of mad it's a tie-in, and I just know it's not going to matter. It ends up where it's going to reintroduce. It's going to reintroduce a character. It's fan service, but it's Omega Bam Man. It's a character that Jeremy Adams had in his Flash run. I'm one of the few people who maybe don't need Omega Bam Man back, but I'm sure it'll be fun. It is written by Jeremy Adams. It is art by Cian Tormé, not Mel Tormé, the Velvet Fog. And I guess some guest art too, or partially by Pat Boutine, that may or may not be a Canadian dish with gravy and fries. But we'll read the solicit. This one is $5.99. It is 48 pages of fun, though. Kyle Rayner brings the cosmic reinforcements. As the KO tournament rages on Earth, the cosmos holds its collective breath as the heroes of our planet fight for the survival of the very universe. I do have to say, when I saw Heroes, somehow my eyes got blurry and I thought it said herpes. It doesn't. Don't worry about it. It said Heroes, not herpes. But the cavalry is on the horizon. Kyle Rayner, in a bid to provide cover for his fellow Green Lanterns, has found himself pummeled across the galaxy and into the ring of ... a wrestling federation? Oh, no, that's what it says. Oh, dear heavens, no. Is Omega Bam Man about to enter the DC KO fray? No, not really. But it's could be fun. It'd be great if he won the tournament and then everybody just looked like Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. Oh, my God, it says. Oh, my God. An entire cavalcade of brawlers is right behind him. This part of the solicit annoys me. I did read this at the end of our podcast last week. It says, are there tables? Somebody get the tables. No, you have to continue with the ladders and chairs. And really what it should be is an entire cavalcade of brawlers is right behind him. Who's going to win this Royal Rumble? See, that's better. That would be better, right? Yes. I thank you for saying yes, indeed. But yeah, the cover looks really cool. And I think it'll be just fun. These tie-ins, even these kind of specials, it doesn't feel, and I've been told before at other events, that the writers don't really get told a lot of what's going on in the main deal. So what can you do then? Well, Jeremy Adams is very good at just having fun, or in his book, say, in Aquaman, or what really impressed me was his Green Lantern book during Night Terrors, during Summerween, way back when he basically, they told him nothing, and he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to have Hal be a badass. That's what you should do all the time. If you have a tie-in, whether they tell you anything or they tell you everything, you make your character a badass, and he did. And I think this is a cool little focus on Kyle Rayner, who hasn't had a ton of focus the last bunch of years, though. I saw a lot of people mad that it was announced that he would kind of be the Green Lantern a little bit later in the Green Lantern main book. So we'll see how that is. But that is the end of my hopes and dreams of this week at DC Comics. Some other comics that are coming out, in case you're wondering: Batman Superman World's Finest #47. You end up having that Lex Joker versus Batman Superman nonsense. You have Titans #31. That is a tie-in to KO, and it ends up where it's just the Titans trying to stop the whole planet from becoming fire pits, though we kind of know they already are. You have Superman Unlimited #9, the Dan Slott book, that ends up where it's a Perry White issue. It's a new prankster, bunch of nonsense there. And then the last one, I think, of the main books is Catwoman, and you end up having a cover with Catwoman and the Court of Owls, which really seems desperate, though I would think that run is coming to an end with Torrent Grumbach. I've read a couple of the issues. I'm not going to say it's horrible. Teenie Howard's... See, that's the thing. Teenie Howard's run on Catwoman, if you read it, it was awful. But it was awful in a way that you could laugh every issue. It was so funny. So it had that little thing going for it. It was fun to, you weren't laughing with it. You were laughing at it. And just one thing that I'll never forget is Catwoman gets arrested for murder. Somehow she's in a county jail with a bunch of superpowered, it made no sense there. But the best is she had her cat Duchess, who was bringing her like ramen through the vents into solitary confinement in this prison, pushing food and such through the vent to deliver it to Wonder Woman. One of the funniest things that I've ever read. But Torrin Grumbach jumped on the book, and I was just kind of bored with it. It just ended up being very boring, so I haven't been reading it for quite some time, though. I'll tell you, they might have got me. I said to Brad, who talks to me about a lot of books on our DC Comics podcast, that maybe we should pick it up because the Court of the Owls is on the cover, but I doubt we will. So that is it, though, for DC. We'll go over to Marvel. And I struggle with a lot of what's coming out from Marvel. We have a Marvel podcast. Me and Matt end up having it. If you've listened to it, maybe on the podcast feed or even some of the issues or some of the episodes that pop up here on YouTube. We struggle to find things to review, and it's easy to review things that you don't like. But the way that we set up the Marvel thing is we have to like it a little and maybe get a little positivity going, and that is almost impossible at Marvel. We'll start with the big book. Can't say I'm looking forward to it, but we will be reviewing it, and I may even do an individual review. I think that I'm going to get back to a bunch of different things, including individual reviews on this here YouTube. But the first book I'm talking about has to be The Amazing Spider-Man number 20, right? Yeah. Joe Kelly, John Romita Jr. on art. I have not liked this run. I know that some people like that last issue of Peter in Space. I thought it was awful. I thought it was garbage. The review of that will be up on YouTube in a bit because we did end up recording that on a podcast that I still have to edit, but I didn't like it. It's low-rent Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't care about any of the characters. They were never really well developed, and then you're supposed to get feels. I'm not getting feels. The feels I'm getting, like my stomach lurching at all of the cringe dialogue and jokes that Joe Kelly thinks he's making the teens laugh. I don't know. I think it stinks. But this is the part where we go back to Earth and deal with Ben Reilly / Norman Osborn and also the Goblin Slayers, none of which I've enjoyed. I know some people seem to be, I think that they're like, I don't know, confused, or maybe Joe Kelly has kind of hypnotized them into thinking the stuff that we got with Norman is good. It's all basic bitch. It's all stuff we know. Oh my God, Peter is so great. I can't believe he's so great. That Peter's great. What do you think, Jay Jonah? I think he's great. Scene. Night of the Goblin Slayers, Norman Osborn may be purged of his sins, but that doesn't mean they can't still come back to haunt him. Hobgoblin wants Norman out of the Spider-Man game and this life for good. And he's got the hyper-lethal tech of an entire goblin-slaying army at his disposal. What does Norman have? Well, he has a Spider-Man or woman or two who trust him as far as they can throw him. Now, I kind of know the characters that they're talking about, and I think they could probably throw Norman quite a far distance. The thing that I'm actually interested in, I want to see what ended up happening to, what's his name? Peter's buddy that was doing the mushroom stuff. I need to see more of that, but I actually just looked down. I don't even think he is going to be in the issue. I think he's kind of done. Remember last time we were on Earth, he kind of got consumed by the mushrooms. But we have such great characters as Captain Kintsugi, right? Yeah, Captain Kintsugi. We're also going to end up, it seems to have Silk, Spider-Girl, Miles, Mary Jane. Yeah, probably is Venom. Hobgoblin doing the nonsense. It's just not good. It's just not good, but it is Spider-Man. So we must talk about it. It's in our contract. You didn't know that we had that contract, right? The next book I'm going to point out is actually one. Again, I'm struggling to even come up with a couple here, but I will talk about this one, Captain America number 6. It is Chip Zdarsky, and when a Captain book, and actually It looks like it's not even that. It looks like it's Sydney No, that's the editor. What is I hate the way they play this out. I'm reading this straight from the League of Comic Geeks. Forgive me. I should have had this set up before, but it was last second. It is Chip Zdarsky. I don't even want to tell you what this picture of him looks like he's doing. And Adelio Diaz. So if anybody goes, what's the dealio? They just say, yeah, he's doing art here, right? Oh my God. That sounds like something Joe Kelly would say. I feel like Captain America, every time somebody jumps on the book, everybody's like, man, I hope this one's good. And then a couple issues in, they're like, yeah, not really. Not really. And I just don't feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like anybody cares. It just feels to me like this is a dud. But, oh, here is the solicit. Now I've depressed myself. Cap returns to present day for an all-new era. Oh. Doom's Fall, hasn't it? Yeah, I read the first issue and I was like, yeah, this seems like the same bullshit as before. And a violent incursion by Thunderbolt Ross have brought Latveria to the brink of civil war. Captain America deploys to protect civilians and investigate rumors of a weapons stockpile or even a cache. But when Nick Fury Jr.'s unpredictable new version of S.H.I.E.L.D. joins the mission, it becomes clear that everyone wants a piece of Latveria, no matter the cost. It's funny, I heard the cost is $12.22. With warring factions tearing the country apart and a squad of unconventional S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, you can't repeat that sort of thing. Pursuing unknown agendas. Can Captain America hope to bring peace to Latveria? Can we say at what cost again? And is that even what his own handlers want? Somebody's getting handsy with Cap, right? He does have a nice Budinsky. Woo-wee. But yeah, it's also $4.99, by the way. Yeah, I just shrugged my shoulders. Almost everything at Marvel, I'm like, whatever. Maybe I'll jump back in. If somebody tells me that it's good, I'll lie and say I read it. No, I'll read it. If you tell me that it's better or good, let me know. I don't know. I'm looking at what else the hell we have here. I do see one book that I am actually looking forward to, and it is a side book, but it's Alien versus Captain America #3. My favorite Cap book right now. It is Frank Thierry and Stefano Raffaele. He has a really cool look here. He looks like he's mad. I actually enjoyed the first 2 issues of this Alien versus Captain America. It's not going to blow your mind. It's just kind of fun. I think that it is one of the few books that, Frank Thierry got the assignment and he is doing it. Have some fun. Oh, Captain, my Captain. As Captain Marvel joins Captain America in his fight against Hydra's aliens, the secret and dark history between the Xenomorphs and the Kree is revealed. And so when they do say that, we should end up mentioning that it's Captain Marvel. So I think. But will either Captain be able to contain an even bigger potential problem, a crazy Nick Fury with vengeance on his mind? So yeah, there you go. It's not many yet, is it? I knew it was. But in this whole play, though, I see, and I go a lot by, a book's hype or how many people are reading it by the amount of reviews that a site has, because I've said it on a bunch of other things. If a book isn't reviewed by a site, normally that just means that they were reviewing it and nobody's going to read the reviews, which usually translates into not many people are reading it. On League of Comic Geeks, a lot of people will comment before they review. Before the issue comes in, you can start a discussion, you can comment. There's 2 comments. That's it. And both are, well, one's mentioning Steranko and the other is mentioning, man, we're getting Marvel. That's it. So I don't think too many people must be reading it. I think it's pretty fun. I've been reading it. So take that. Take that, Jimmy Carter. Looking at the deal, I will end up reading a couple other ones only because they are new #1s. Because as I go through, seriously, can Marvel have like one more book so we can get to 100 in a week? Whew. We also have, I'm going to read 3. One, you'll probably roll your eyes. I'm not reading it, but I've been told that it's better than it should be. It's Planet She-Hulk #3, written by Stephanie Phillips, who hates my guts, and Emilio Aleso on art. Deadliest there is? A merchant's trusted assistant is dead, and Jen has been framed for his murder. Can Sakar's justice system prevail, or is Jen staring at a long-term sentence? Kind of like that solicit, right? Holy cripes. Yeah, I haven't been reading it. 2 people legit told me that I should read it because it's good, so I'm relying on you guys to let me know. I'm guessing that most people say, I'm not reading it either. There are 3 comments. One is, a guest artist already? Sigh. Another one says, oh, here we go. Not a fan of Stephanie, but have a hunch that this could be a sleeper hit. Cooter is a good get. Cooter isn't on here. Oh, I guess Cooter's on the cover, and I don't think they mean Crazy Cooter of Dukes of Hazzard fame, if you're old enough. They mean Aaron Cooter, but he's not on this issue. That's why the other person was sighing. I get it now. But yeah, I'm not reading it, but I don't know. I've been told it's okay. Let me know what you think in the comments. Here are the 2 number ones. I'll tell you right now, I will not be reading either. But one is an X-Men book, and we have other people that do the X-Men show on our feed, so I don't have to read it. But that is Inglorious X-Force number 1. Inglorious Vengeance. Cable returns from the future with a handful of clues and gaping holes in his memory. Sexy. An assassination is at hand, and it's up to Helverine, Archangel, and his former teammate Boom Boom. I have to admit, I am this weird Boom Boom fan. I love Boom Boom. To follow Cable's lead into the fire, probably lost like 3 subscribers now, but who are they after? And what secret does Cable's faulty memory hide? Be here for the ground floor of the mystery, and strap in and strap on for the most extreme thrill ride in Xdom as an all-new X-Force blazes into battle. And that is written by Tim Seeley with Michael St. Maria on art, or as I like to say, Michael Stamaria. Stamaria, that guy. I don't like Tim Seeley. I think he's got a jerk-off face, but that's just me. Yeah, I don't really like him, but I don't have to read X-Men books, but I do enjoy the Boom Booms, right? I do. The other and last book at Marvel is another new number 1. Oh my God, it's also by Tim Seeley. I got to talk about that jerk-off face twice. It's Psylocke Ninja number 1. Nico Leone on art with Tim Seeley. Writing Betsy Braddock, Mutant X-Man Ninja? Flashback to a time when Psylocke was reborn into the ultimate killing machine. What sacrifice did Betsy make to save the X-Men? Why did the Hand choose Psylocke to be their weapon? And what does it have to do with their former assassin Elektra? Writer Tim Seeley, Rogue the Savage Land, and artist Nico Leone, Marvel Rivals. Now, again, I'm not a big fan of Tim Seeley. I kind of think you can find something better than Rogue Savage Land. Answer the questions in a lost story from the X-Men's past. So yeah, that now this is the shame. This feels like one of those kind of like back in the day, like a Peter David book. Unfortunately, Peter David passed, R.I.P. One of the best writers ever, in my opinion, and I loved his "Let's Go Back in the Day" deal. So they're gonna try to do it, but Tim Seeley, not a big fan. But yeah, that is also $4.99. But that is it for Marvel. I was gonna read the Star Wars solicit, but I'm not an idiot. Here's the thing. Please tell me if anybody's reading the current basically the only kind of Star Wars book in the main deal by Alex Segura. That book, like everything Star Wars should be, exciting, space adventure, cool characters. He's decided not to go that route. He's a wild card here, this Alex Segura, and he's like, what? It's supposed to be fun and adventurous, and nah, that's not me. I'm gonna make it boring as shit and monotonous. Woo-wee. It's not good. I haven't read a couple issues. Every time I try to jump back on, I jump into Slumberland. It's the Ambien of comic bookdom right now. It's terrible. They do have, it's sad to say, they just have to let Star Wars go away for a while and then come back with somebody who can write. I had a Star Wars comics podcast that did run for like 110, 115 episodes, and we just had to stop. we stopped in the middle of the, what's it called? That crazy droid story. Can't even remember. And then we were going to come back once the new books were announced. And, Dark Droids it was, right? We were going to come back when the new bunch of books came out. We were all excited. We read one issue of Alex Segura and we actually shut down the podcast because of Alex Segura. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Alex. But that is it for the Marvel stuff. I don't know that I have anything but one indie book that I'm looking forward to. But again, the indie scene is where a lot of books get lost in the shuffle. And so if you end up having an indie book that you're really loving that I don't mention, let me know. Just don't say it's assorted crisis events. I know that people like that. I ain't reading that. I tried. I got through 1.5 issues, too many for me. So I am done with that. But there's one book that I will mention here. It's probably the one that you would guess. It is Redcoat number 16, part of the Jeff Johns Ghost Machine imprint. And it is Brian Hitch and Jeff Johns. And it's great. That last issue of Redcoat was one of my favorite issues I've read in quite some time. And really not a lot of action at all. It really shows you don't need to have just an ambiguous action to get people hyped. You just write a damn good story with characters that you built up to a point where you care about them. This is what I meant earlier when I talked about Joe Kelly's In Space Spider-Man. He's trying to get these moments. I just don't care about the characters. But boy, I care about Simon and out of nowhere care about his kids that we just were introduced to, his wife. Awesome. Albert coming back, right? Spoilers. But I'm looking forward to this issue. Here's the solicit, and it is $3.99 and worth every damn penny. Just think of that. When I did remember to mention the pricing, not a lot of $3.99 books out there, and yet probably the best one, I'm guessing, of this week right here is $3.99. 1909 Part 2. Simon's immortal secret is about to be exposed, but the consequences will be as unexpected as the villainous threat to America. It doesn't say, so I'm not going to spoil what happened last issue in case people are not caught up, but boy, it was big. Desperate to unlock the truth behind his power, Simon seeks out one of the remaining founding fathers and is shocked by who he meets. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. And yeah, Jeff Johns is killing it. At the Ghost Machine, I will tell you right now, I am behind on both Rook Exodus and Geiger, so I have to catch up on those. But I am current with Redcoat because that was jumping back and forth with Rook as my favorite. Geiger's the weird one. Geiger I love, but it kind of just sits there in its own spot. It's like it's the old reliable. It's just there, but it's not my favorite. But yet I jumped around. Redcoat's my favorite. And when Rook went away for all that time and came back, I don't know. I haven't gotten the craziness of how much I liked it since it's come back. I'm behind. I wouldn't have been behind before, but I am now. It's still good. And when that went away, that was my favorite book. And now Redcoat has surpassed it, maybe just because it was there. It was like, you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you're dating around. Well, the one that's there the whole year, that's cool. The summer girl, maybe hot or whatever, but you kind of go with I don't know. You get impressed with the one who's always there. I don't even know if that made sense. I can't tell. It's getting very late and I'm tired. So that is it. That is it for this week's preview show. I promise next week will be a little more professional. Not fully, but a little more. And we'll have the covers as well for each of the books. That makes it cool because you can check out the covers, obviously, and see what we're talking about. But in the meantime, thanks, everybody. I hope that you will, listen, watch the videos as they come out. If you haven't subscribed, please do. All of that all rolled up in one. All of the regular stuff they say on YouTube, not used to doing all that. Even though sus songs do pay the bills, I will be doing more and more of the comic book videos as well. I haven't done it in a while, and I do have to get back to it just because I do like talking about things. I still, though, have a weekly DC Comics podcast, kind of a bi-weekly And don't get upset. That doesn't mean what you might think it means of a Marvel podcast. But we also have a Patreon where we talk about a whole lot of other things, like a Grant Morrison podcast, a Walking Dead Deluxe podcast. In fact, Walking Dead Deluxe is coming out. Issue 129 is coming out this week. Also a Hellboy podcast, all sorts of things, a Year One show. But please check out the description of this video. It has all the links to everything Weird Science, and hopefully you check all those out. So thanks, everybody, and I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.